Hello, how are you? Welcome back from the long weekend. Hope you're doing well. I know a lot of you went camping and did fun things over the weekend, and I hope you're rested and ready to whip up the rest of the year. I have a book that's been kind of sitting in the corner for me. I've been wanting to read it. I haven't read it at all yet. It's called Our House is on Fire. It's a biography about Greta Thunberg by Jeanette Winter. And if you don't know who Greta is, she's a young woman. I think she's 16, 17 now. And she is an activist, somebody who really works hard at trying to get the world to understand climate change. And I wanted to read it to this class for several reasons. One of them, there's a few girls in this class that I think might be activists some days, and all of you, I'm sure, are concerned about the world we live in and making it better. And I also want all of you, there's a quote for her right here in the beginning. I want all of you to think about this because I think everybody is like this. You are never too small to make a difference. Our house is on fire. Greta is a quiet girl who led a quiet life in the city of Stockholm. Her dog Roxy was her friend. All my life I've been invisible. The invisible girl in the back who doesn't say anything. In school, she felt alone. Then one day, Greta's teacher talked to the class about climate, about how the planet is getting warmer, about how the polar ice is melting, about how animals' lives are threatened, and ours too. That's when Greta's life changed. She read for hours and watched film after film about the warming world. Greta could think about one thing for a very, very long time. She saw ice melting into the sea, disappearing. She saw mighty winds and torrential rains howling across the land. Notice she's doing it all with her dog, kind of cuddling with the dog, comforting with the dog. She saw coral reefs deep down in the sea, pale as white ghosts, bleached by the warming water. Greta saw living creatures everywhere, struggling to stay alive. Greta saw floodwaters covering the houses, and people and animals. She saw cities swallowing under the rising oceans. She saw the smoldering sun scorch the earth, leaving it bone dry. She saw blazing wildfires racing through the forest. And I'm sure you too have seen many of these things as well. Our house is on fire. Greta became sad, thinking about climate all the time. She barely ate or spoke. Those pictures were stuck in my mind, she said. Sad days went on for a long time, each day more unhappy than the next. There might not be a world to live in when she grows up. What use is school without a future? What can I do? She wondered. Greta decided to go on strike from school for climate. Her parents understood. Stockholm is in Sweden, so she speaks Swedish, and her sign is in Swedish. Greta skipped school one Friday and took her protest, school strike for climate, to the Parliament building to sit on strike. She hoped lawmakers would see her. People walked past, too busy to notice. Greta was invisible there, too. She was at the Parliament building, every Friday, even in the rain. The word of her strike began to spread. Little by little, other school strikers joined her. On Fridays, Stockholm schools were a bit empty. Bond, strike, Iver. More people started noticing the child striker, and word spread through the cyberspace about Friday school strikes. Children started striking everywhere. If grown-ups wouldn't act to save the planet, children would. And here's like in the different languages up there of her saying all of that. Different people saying strike. So for a while it was just one person. Then slowly, more and more. The quiet girl who always felt invisible asked to speak to very important people at the United Nations climate talk in Poland. Greta only spoke when she thought it was necessary. You say you love your children above all else, and yet you are stealing their future in front of their very eyes. We need to keep the fossil fuels in the ground. Kind of brave woman there, don't you think, Claire? Krissa? Kind of brave girl going up and telling people what she thinks. The quiet girl invited to speak to important people at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. It was necessary to speak. I don't want to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. I want you to act as if the house is on fire, because it is. Madeline, would you be brave enough to go talk to those people? How about you, Nathan? A big group of strangers, adults? Greta's protest all alone sparked a worldwide children's march. Her quiet voice joined thousands of voices and became a roar. Can you hear us? Olivia? Cameron? Do you know who she is? She's making a change. You could probably make a change too. And I'm not going to read this page, but I'll hold it up for you. It's all the signs that the children made and held up for people to see. A brave young woman. But it doesn't have to be a woman. It could be anybody. It could be you, Finn. Could be you, Claire. Be anybody. Deciding to say enough is enough. And what will you do? Nice little book. If anything, I hope it gets you to think that you too could be a change. You might not change the world for climate change, but you could change things through little things. You could help a friend, make them have a happier life. You could help your mom in the kitchen make a little change. But hopefully you try to do things to make the world better and help it along. You guys have a good week, okay? Take care.